Satnam, offering a general reading. As always, listen intuitively and explore your own guidance over my words. And today, the question on the table is what cycles are coming to completion and what's coming through as an opportunity for you. So yes, this is a general reading. It may or may not apply. Listen within. There are so many different ways to look at a situation, different ways to do a reading, interpret a card. So you might find something that I don't speak to and explore that over my words. Trusting you're in charge of your own life. Free will, and every day is anew. What cycles are finished for you? What cycles are closing out for the collective? What cycles perhaps need to be addressed? So what's on the table to close? Perhaps there's not much movement for you. And it's an opportunity for patience and contemplation. Sit on it, sleep on it. And either way, it's not the end of the world. At first you don't succeed, you try again, right? So what partnerships are calling your attention to either close out, to speak through, and how is your heart telling you? What is your heart telling you about this connection, of how it's meant for you? The Two of Cups, Two of Hearts is about partnership. And so how are you working together? Are you calling out and throwing out the kitchen sink? Are you turning your back? Are you opening your heart? Excuse me. Or is it time? Is it time to connect on a deeper level? Are you avoiding intimacy? There's so many ways in which partnerships can play out, and that's far beyond a title. And it's also different how they function, whether it's on a more healthy spectrum of conscious communication or more this dance of avoidance and attachment, codependency and some sort of negative attachment patterns. So is there something speaking over your shoulder? Is Jiminy Cricket with you, guiding the way? And what feels like a burden? What feels like a burden? Has there been divine intervention to open your eyes to see that life is a gift, that it is all a game of chance, and that really we are fortunate to survive and we are capable of overcoming? And what has opened your eyes to either clean up the mess or release the burden? And those perhaps tie into connections for you. I feel like we need one more. So perhaps looking at codependency. Codependency being not always a substance, rather a feeling. Esther Perel's coming to mind, so perhaps looking at some of her work in the ways that she communicates, how she looks at fidelity, infidelity. What are you committing to? Are you committing to the burdens or connections? Are those connections bringing you to your higher self, or do they feel heavy and weighing you down? And that feeling of being weighed down, or however your health is speaking to you, is a sign, is this call out about this connection. And so what would serve right now to heal this cycle? What information would serve well here to support growth, healing, and illumination? So communication and overcoming the challenge. The challenge of either continuing to dance with the ego or truly say, it can be walking away. This character chose to walk away from that karmic cycle, or that dance that he did, and that was a challenge. I mean, who carries around a wallet that says badass motherfucker? I mean, to step away from that is a challenge, because the ego would love that, right? And so finding that space, possibly of neutrality and communication, or possibly it's time to, do your words cut like a knife, or do they uplift? And is the challenge to help uplift, or go ahead and sever ties? It's really up to you what you want to foster in the material world. So thinking longer term. And so the choice is yours. And there is no such thing as loss, perhaps. Perhaps it's a win-win in the forecast for you. That even though a fork in the road feels disturbing in your mind, and that's because you're looking at dualities. If there's the book, what is it, 10-10-10 theory, or it is her theory, and in that book she talks about a pros and cons list, and she says don't make a decision based on the pros and cons, because your brain is actually putting it in that category of good, bad, positive, negative, right? And so she actually says make that whole list of pros and cons and then get rid of it, and now start again with a bigger picture, a bigger box. The overall theory is this decision, how it will affect me in 10 minutes, how it will affect me in 10 days, and how will it affect me in 10 months. It's something like that. It's increments of time of 10, and then reviewing from that place. So while walking away from the business is awkward. I don't know how you get out of something like that. That's the challenge, but it's a more of a short-term challenge. And so how can you plant seeds and communicate today for the material in the long run? And so that might be boundaries, that might be assessing your own needs. A needs assessment is huge, it changes. So what do you need for you, and how can you communicate that to bring that forth, to bring about true love and connection? And perhaps this is about you loving yourself, because we have 3 queens on the board. And the bottom of the deck energy is the three of hearts. And celebration. It's moving that 2 to 3. It's 1 step forward. It's that dance around the maypole, if I said that right. And Perhaps it's about celebrating your union within yourself and deepening your connection. And that could be that balance within yourself that then gives you that space to partner with the divine, partner with someone here. Sometimes I get this card mixed up for some reason with the Three of Swords, or at least that's what's coming to me right now. And perhaps it doesn't have to be all pain. Maybe it's about being light, letting it be easy and not defining, letting it be open, letting it be free and flirty, rather than pains of the past dragging you down. So just, I'm seeing it like chuck it, like throwing something up in the wind. It's not saying throw caution to the wind, but kind of maybe allowing some of the elements to lighten your load and work with you. Divine deck, victory. I think one of these was our bottom deck energy. Anything else? Anything else? And it's interesting, bottom of this deck, we got all the queens out. All the queens out. So celebrate the divine feminine. And perhaps that union within your own heart is worth celebrating in your uniqueness and owning exactly who you are, exactly what you need, speaking exactly what you want, and letting it come from the heart center, and overcoming that challenge that speaking what you need is a burden to others, because who matters most? It's you. Who comes first? You. Where does love stem from? Whether it's the divine, but it's you loving yourself enough to allow the divine to bring light to your days. It's about loving yourself enough to allow connection to bring love in for you, and not to battle it, but to allow it to bring you closer into a deeper connection. I do hope this served well. Explore what resonates. And again, listen intuitively. You are your best teacher. And life is presenting us with lots of wonderful opportunities to learn and grow. Satnam.